I found recordings of my own voice saved on my husband's laptop. Dozens of them. Private conversations, phone calls, even moments when I thought I was completely alone. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just married, I was being watched. Trust doesn't break all at once. It cracks slowly, quietly, in ways you don't notice until it's too late. If you had asked me a few months ago, I would have said my life was stable. Not perfect, not extraordinary, but safe. Daniel and I had been married for 3 years. We had routines, morning coffee together, late-night conversations, weekend grocery runs. It wasn't exciting, but it felt real. At least that's what I believed. Looking back now, the signs were always there. Small things, easy to ignore, like the way he suddenly started locking his phone, or how he would stop talking the moment I walked into the room, or the way he looked at me sometimes, not with love, not with warmth, but like he was studying me. I told myself it was stress, work pressure, life, because when you love someone, you don't look for reasons to doubt them, you look for reasons to trust them. The first moment something truly felt wrong was a sound, a soft click. It happened late at night. I was sitting alone in the living room, scrolling through my phone. The house was completely quiet. Then I heard it. Click. I froze, looked around. Nothing. I stood up slowly, checked the kitchen, the hallway, the bedroom. Everything seemed normal. I told myself it was nothing, an old house, random noise. But the feeling didn't go away. That feeling that someone was watching me. A few days later, it happened again. Click. This time I was in the bedroom, and this time I knew exactly where it came from. The smoke detector. I stared at it, my heart racing. "Don't be ridiculous," I whispered to myself. But deep down, I didn't believe that. That night, when Daniel came home, I almost asked him, but I didn't, because I didn't want to sound paranoid, and maybe I didn't want to hear the truth. Days passed, but that feeling never left. Then something happened that changed everything. Daniel forgot his laptop. That never happened. He carried it everywhere, like it was part of him. But that day, it was sitting on the table, unlocked, unattended, and I couldn't stop looking at it. It felt like it was calling me. I don't know what pushed me, curiosity, fear, instinct, but I opened it. The screen lit up. Everything looked normal. For a moment, I thought I had imagined everything. Then I saw it, a folder, hidden, not completely invisible, but placed just enough out of sight. I clicked it, and my entire world stopped. Files, dozens of them, audio recordings, each one labeled, with dates, with times. Then I saw my name. My hands started shaking. "No," I whispered. Slowly, I clicked one. My voice filled the room. I was laughing, talking to a friend, sharing something personal, something private. My chest tightened. I clicked another. This time, I was crying, talking about my fears, my insecurities, things I had never even told Daniel. My chest tightened. "How is this possible?" I whispered. I kept clicking, file after file, every moment captured, every word recorded, without my knowledge, without my consent. This wasn't just wrong, it was a violation, deep, personal, terrifying. Then I noticed something even worse. The recordings weren't random, they were organized, categorized, some labeled emotional, some labeled calls, some labeled private, like someone had been studying me, analyzing me, breaking me down. And there was only one person who could have done this: my husband, Daniel, the man I trusted more than anyone. In that moment, something inside me broke. Because this wasn't just betrayal, this was control, and I had no idea how long it had been happening or why. But one thing became clear: I couldn't confront him, not yet, because if he had done this, there was a reason, and I needed to find out. So I closed the laptop, sat there in silence, and for the first time in my life, I felt unsafe in my own home. because I wasn't just living with my husband, I was living with someone who had been secretly watching me. I didn't sleep that night, not even for a second. Every small sound felt louder, every shadow felt alive, and every thought led to one terrifying question. How long? How long had he been recording me? Weeks? Months? Or worse, since the beginning? Morning came, but it didn't feel like morning. It felt like survival. I sat at the edge of the bed, staring at the wall, trying to act normal, trying to breathe normally, trying to think, because panic wouldn't help me. I needed answers. Daniel walked into the room like nothing had changed, like everything was still normal. "Morning," he said casually. I looked at him. Really looked at him. The same face, the same voice, the same man I had trusted. But now, everything felt different. "Morning," I replied, forcing my voice to stay steady. He didn't notice anything, or maybe he was pretending not to. That thought made it worse. I watched him carefully that day, every movement, every word, trying to see something I had missed before. And then I noticed it. He kept checking his phone, not casually, not normally, but constantly, like he was monitoring something, or someone, me. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't going to confront him. Not yet. I needed more than suspicion. I needed proof. Real proof. So I waited, and when he finally fell asleep, I moved. Slowly, carefully. I picked up his phone. My hands were shaking, but I kept going. Locked, of course. I tried the obvious passwords. Nothing. Then I paused. Daniel always used patterns, simple ones. I traced one. Unlocked. My heart started pounding so loud I was sure it would wake him up, but I kept going. Messages, emails, apps. Everything looked normal. Too normal. Then I found it. An app. Hidden. No name, just an icon I didn't recognize. I opened it, and my entire body went cold. Live feeds from inside the house. Different angles, different rooms. The living room, the kitchen, the hallway, and then the bedroom. My breath stopped. I was looking at myself from earlier that day, walking, sitting, existing, being watched. My hands started shaking uncontrollably. This wasn't just recordings anymore. This was surveillance, full control. I scrolled further. There were saved clips, hundreds of them, organized, labeled, just like the files on the laptop. Then I saw something that made everything worse. A folder labeled important. I hesitated. Then I opened it. Clips of me, crying, arguing, talking about personal things, moments I thought were private, moments I trusted him with. And then I saw something I wasn't supposed to see, a message attached to one of the videos. Use this if she refuses. My blood ran cold. Use this? Refuses what? I scrolled up. More messages. Not just to himself, to someone else. Unknown number, short texts, cold, calculated. She doesn't know. I have everything. She'll do what I say. My chest tightened. This wasn't just about watching me. This was about control, manipulation, maybe even blackmail. I quickly locked the phone and placed it back exactly where it was. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I sat there, in the dark, trying to understand what was happening. My husband, the man I loved, was collecting pieces of me, like evidence, like weapons, and I didn't know why or what he was planning. But one thing became clear in that moment. I wasn't safe, not emotionally, not mentally, and maybe not even physically. The next morning, I acted normal, smiled, talked, moved like nothing had changed, because now I wasn't just scared, I was aware. And awareness changes everything, because I finally understood something important. This wasn't just a marriage anymore. This was a game, and if I wanted to survive, I had to start playing it better than him. I stopped being afraid the moment I understood one thing. Daniel wasn't just watching me. He was preparing something. And whatever it was, I was the target. Fear keeps you frozen, but clarity, it changes you. The next few days, I became someone else. Calm, quiet, observant. I smiled when he looked at me, spoke normally, laughed at the right moments, but inside, I was watching him the same way he had been watching me, carefully, silently. I started noticing patterns. When he checked his phone, when he stayed up late, when he stepped outside to take calls. And one night, I followed him. He didn't notice. He got into his car and drove across the city. I kept my distance, my heart racing the entire time. He stopped outside a building I had never seen before. Old, quiet, almost empty. He went inside. I waited. 10 minutes, 20, 30. Then I got out of the car. Every step felt heavier than the last. Inside, the hallway was dimly lit, silent. I followed the faint sound of voices, and then I heard it. Daniel's voice. "I told you I have everything we need." I froze. Another voice answered, cold, unfamiliar. Then why hasn't she signed yet? Signed? My breath caught. Daniel sighed. "She will. I just need a little more pressure." Pressure? My stomach dropped. "What if she finds out?" the other voice asked. A pause. Then Daniel said something that shattered everything. "She won't. And even if she does," he let out a quiet laugh, "I have enough to destroy her." My entire body went numb. Destroy me? For what? I stepped back slowly, my mind racing. Now it made sense. The recordings, the videos, the app, the messages. This wasn't obsession. This was leverage, blackmail. I went home that night in silence, but something inside me had changed. I wasn't scared anymore. I was done. The next morning, I made my move. I contacted a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, the best one I could find. I showed him everything, the recordings, the app, the messages. His expression turned serious almost instantly. "This isn't just invasion of privacy," he said. "This is criminal." Good. That's exactly what I needed. For the next week, we built the case. Every file copied, every message documented, every detail secured. And then, we waited. The moment came sooner than I expected. Daniel walked in that evening with papers in his hand. "I need you to sign something," he said casually. Of course. I looked at the documents. Property transfer, financial control, everything. He wanted my assets, my rights, my life. And now I knew why. He sat across from me, watching, waiting. "Just sign it," he said. I looked up at him and smiled. A calm, controlled smile. "Okay," I said softly. His expressions shifted. Surprised. Too easy, that's what he thought. I picked up the pen, paused, then placed it down. "I will, but first," I slid a folder across the table. His folder, his files, his secrets. His face changed instantly. Confusion, then realization, then fear. "I know everything," I said quietly. Silence filled the room. The recordings, the cameras, the messages, the plan. He didn't speak. For the first time, Daniel had nothing to say. "You were going to destroy me," I said, my voice steady. "But you made one mistake." He looked at me. "You underestimated me." I leaned back, calm, in control. "My lawyer already has copies of everything," I added. That's when panic finally hit his face. "You don't understand," he started. "No, you don't understand." I stood up. "This is over." Days later, everything collapsed for him. The evidence was undeniable. Illegal surveillance, privacy violations, blackmail. He lost everything: his reputation, his career, his control, and me. The final time I saw him, he looked different, smaller, like all the power he once had was gone. "You ruined everything," he said quietly. I looked at him, and for the first time, I felt nothing. "No," I said, "you did." And I walked away. For good. Because I didn't just escape him. I took back my life. And this time, no one would ever control it again.